If you've been trying to save money and it feels like nothing ever sticks, this video is for you. Because most people don't struggle with saving money because they're lazy or irresponsible. They struggle because saving feels like a punishment. Like life is already expensive, and now you're supposed to cut even more. Say no to everything, while we see people living it up on social media. So today, I want to give you some tips and tricks that actually work in real life, not some fantasy world. And I want to do it in a way that feels practical and doable. Okay, really quick. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. This channel is about budgeting, saving, building financial stability, and creating a plan that helps you win long-term. Because in my opinion, everyone deserves a chance to get ahead and enjoy life. Now, let's start with the one truth that's going to make your whole life easier. Most saving advice fails because it starts with cutting things that you enjoy doing. A better approach is this. Start by catching the money that you're already losing without realizing it. So because if you find a few $100s a month in this invisible spending, you can build savings without feeling like your lifestyle's getting destroyed. And by the way, this matters more than ever right now because a lot of people are getting stretched very thin. For example, Bankrate's emergency savings survey has found about 1 in 4 Americans have no emergency savings at all. And the Federal Reserve has reported that only about 55% of adults say they actually have set aside 3 months of expenses for emergencies. So if you're watching this thinking that you're being left behind, just know you're not alone. The goal here is to give you a simple path forward, which brings us to our first trick. So here's the first thing that I do when I help someone start saving immediately, like this week. I do what's called a money leak audit. We get their full budget figured out, usually inside of Monarch Money. Just a focused, simple scan to find spending that's quietly draining you. Monarch Money makes it super easy to find certain things that we tend to spend our money on due to bad habits or convenience. Most people don't actually realize what they spend their money on every day. And the easiest place to find these leaks is in subscriptions, recurring bills, and automated charges. And let's be honest, subscriptions are designed to be forgotten. That's the business model. And what's crazy is that studies have found that people consistently underestimate what they spend on subscriptions. For example, a commonly cited CNR research finding showed Americans spending a few $100s per month on subscriptions, while estimating what we spend was way less. Now, I'm not saying cancel everything and live like a monk. I'm saying be aware of it and make it intentional. Back in the day, our grandparents paid bills and wrote checks where they had to keep a balance in the register of the checkbook. This practice made them aware of their spending habits, whereas today, it's easy for us to swipe our card and forget about it. There has actually been research citing that we tend to spend more with our cards since we aren't handing physical cash that much anymore. So nowadays, here's how we go through our transaction to find the leaks. You want to open your statements for the accounts that you spend out of. They could be banks or credit cards. Go to your transactions, scroll through the last 60 to 90 days and look for anything that repeats. When you find something repeating, ask one question. Would I buy this again today at full price? If the answer is no, just cancel it. And right there, you might save $30, $60, or $120 a month, sometimes even more. Then do the same thing with your bills. This is a saving trick that feels almost too simple, but it works. Call your internet provider, call your cell phone provider, call your insurance company and ask if there's any way to lower your bill. Switching cell phone providers can help you save hundreds of dollars per year. Check out Helium Mobile, check out Mint Mobile, Visible by Verizon. One thing that bothers me is that these companies don't incentivize loyalty. They give incentives or promos to bring in new customers, but don't reward their existing clients that haven't switched because usually it's just inconvenient for us. So they've been with the company for say 5 years and the price just slowly crept up. So here's an example of how you would request a discount on your bill. First, go onto their website to see if they have any new customer promotion offering a cheaper plan or a product or whatever they're selling. Then call them and say, hey there, my name is Blake. I'm reviewing our family's budget and found that our recurring bills and subscriptions is an area that we can improve on. Do you guys have like a cheaper plan or is there a retention or loyalty promotion? I see you have a promo for 10% for the first 6 months for these new customers and was wondering if you have anything like that for existing customers, like a retention or a loyalty promotion. We've been with you for 10 years and would rather not switch companies. So I just need to do what's best for my family, you know. The worst case is they say no. Best case is that you save money every month and know that this company is aligned with your goal of taking care of your family. And I want you to notice something. None of that required you to stop enjoying life. You're just plugging the leak. All right, next saving step. And this one is the biggest lever for most households. The food strategy that doesn't feel miserable. When people think of saving money, they immediately think, oh, we have to stop eating out. But telling someone to stop eating out is like telling someone to just be disciplined. Well, technically, that advice isn't wrong. It's just not helpful. A better approach is to create a food plan that protects your budget without feeling like a punishment. Because, groceries and eating out are just two of the easiest categories to overspend. And most people don't overspend because we're careless. We overspend because we're tired when driving home from work. And the thought of cooking dinner sounds exhausting. Or we are on our way to work and that $7 coffee would sure help us get through the day. So here's the saving trick. Don't fight hunger with willpower. It is a muscle. This is what I mean. Pick 2 to 3 kind of default meals that you can repeat every week. And they're easy and cheap to make. Then pick one meal that feels like a treat, something that you enjoy or you don't feel deprived. So my favorite go-to snack is Halo Top ice cream. It makes me feel like I'm not depriving myself. I get a piece of dessert. Now, create a simple rule. Eating out is allowed, but it has a lane. So for example, maybe it's Friday date nights. The key is that there's a set limit in the budget, perhaps say $100 to $200. This would allow for a few date nights or nights out with friends, but once the budget is hit, it's time to lock it all down until the following month. And if you were thinking, man, that sounds restrictive, listen, the restriction already exists. It's just hidden because if you don't put structure around eating out, the restriction shows up later as stress, as guilt, or overdue credit card balances. So we're just bringing the structure forward to the light. And here's another saving trick that actually works ridiculously well. Build one convenience night into your week. Now, I know that sounds a little backwards, but here's how it works. Because most people overspend on food on the nights that we're exhausted, plan for it. Make it intentional. Maybe that means freezer meals. Maybe it means rotisserie chicken on the way home. Maybe it means a simple dinner that takes like 10 minutes to make. When you plan for convenience, you avoid the random $45 takeout that happens because nobody had the energy to cook. This alone can save people $100 per month, and it doesn't require misery. It just takes a plan. And if you want a full walkthrough on how to structure a budget around real life, not a perfect life, check out our budget series after this. I go through our budget every month and right here on YouTube for you. We go through every category, tweak them as necessary, because I'm not perfect either. Now, let's cover something that hits everyone every day. You want to add friction to impulse spending. Impulse spending is not a money problem. It is a brain problem. It's not about intelligence. It's about dopamine. Companies have mastered the art of making spending feeling like we're being rewarded, like bulk discounts, credit card points if you spend so much money to earn them. So instead of saying, I'm just going to stop impulse spending, you do something smarter. You add friction to it. You intentionally make it more difficult. Here are a few moves that work. First, delete saved payment methods from your phone or browser. Make yourself type the credit card number in every single time. That little pause is powerful. Second, move shopping apps off of your home screen. Or if you really want to be extreme, you could delete them Monday to Friday. You can always reinstall them later. It's usually free. Third, create a 24-hour rule. If you want something that isn't essential to your everyday life, you wait just one day. Most of the time, the craving for the thing passes, or you've discovered something about the product that you didn't know, and now you don't want it. So after 24 hours, if you still want to buy the item, that's fine. At least you've thought 5 or 10 times about buying the thing. So here's what'll happen. You're turning spending money into a decision instead of a reflex. That's where saving actually begins. If you're sitting there thinking, okay, but I still want nice things. That's great. That's great. You totally deserve to have nice things in the one life that we get to have. So saving isn't about never buying anything fun. It's about buying fun things within this clear plan so you're not sabotaging your future for this brief moment of relief. Now, let's shift into the part that changes everything. Once you've plugged the leaks, you need a system to capture the money that you freed up. But before we cover that, I have to give a quick disclaimer. This is not individualized financial advice. My goal is to help you build a system that works for your life as I'm navigating it myself. So this is where you implement the pay yourself first principle. Most people try to save by doing it last. They pay bills, they spend, and then they try to save whatever is left over. There's just usually very little or nothing ever left over. So saving has to happen automatically, or it won't happen consistently. So when we set up our savings challenge, we did this. I scheduled the transfer every single day from our bank to our brokerage account. It could be $25, maybe it's $100, or even $300. The amount matters less than the habit. And once that habit's formed, you could scale it. And this is where people get stuck. They think, I can't save much, so why bother? Well, because saving isn't just about the money. It's about becoming the person who saves. That identity shift matters. And now the biggest reason paying yourself first works is because it removes the daily debate. You're not waking up every day negotiating with yourself about whether or not you get to save. It's already done. And you can take this one step further by using buckets. Instead of one generic savings account, you have purpose-based buckets, like in SoFi or Ally Bank. You get emergency fund bucket, a car bucket, home repairs, a gift bucket. This is usually the one that's big for me, as I'm pretty forgetful when it comes to giving gifts. When money has a job, it's harder to steal from it from random spending. And that's a huge saving trick. Giving money a job creates boundaries. Have you ever moved money into your savings account and then needed some of it back? You get that little feeling of pain, right? It hurts a little, doesn't it? To set aside money only to move it back and then spend it and lose it. And that brings us to emergency funds, because this is where people finally start feeling peace. So let's learn about the emergency fund ladder. A lot of people hear emergency fund and think they need automatically 3 to 6 months of expenses right now, immediately. And then they do nothing because it feels impossible. So here's the trick. Build an emergency fund in levels, like a ladder. Your first goal is not 3 months. Your first goal is getting out of the I can't handle anything mode, right? That first level could be $500. Because if your tire blows out, or you have a medical bill, or you don't want to be forced into a certain credit card. Now this is important. Even official financial literacy sources point out that how common it is for people to have little or no emergency savings. That's why building this buffer is such a big deal. After $500, your next level is $1,000. And then 1 month of expenses, then 3 months, then 6 months if you want to be extra safe. If you're a business owner or have variable income, I would even recommend saving towards 12 months of savings. And here's what happens as you climb that ladder. Your stress goes down. Your decision-making gets better. You stop feeling like life is one surprise away from complete disaster. And that piece is priceless, man, let me tell you. I want to address something just really fast. If you're sitting there thinking, I can't even save $500, that doesn't mean you're hopeless. It just means the system needs to start smaller and more aggressive at the same time. Smaller automatic savings, more aggressive leak plugging, because $10 a week is still movement, and movement creates momentum. Now, the last big saving tip is the one that turns saving into permanent lifestyle change. And this is what's called the debt to savings bridge. Let's talk about debt, because a lot of people say, I'm trying to save, but it never works. And the real reason is debt is eating their future, especially high interest debt. Credit cards are brutal, so much so that President Trump wants the maximum interest credit card companies can charge to be 10%. Rates can be extremely high. Data sources like the Fed, NerdWallet, and Bankrate have shown that credit card interest rates in the high teens to 20% have been the normal in recent years. So here's the saving trick then. If you're carrying high interest credit card debt, paying it down is a form of saving, because the interest that you avoid is money you get to keep. So think about it like this. If you pay off a credit card that's charging you 20% interest, that is a guaranteed return. And it's hard to get a guaranteed return on literally anything else. So the move is build a small emergency fund first, so you don't get right back into debt when life happens. And then attack the high interest debt with a vengeance. And as that payment disappears, you take what you were paying monthly and roll it straight into savings. And that's the bridge. Debt payments become saving payments. And this is how people go from, I can't save, to, man, I'm saving a lot. You didn't magically change your income at all. You just changed where the money was going. Now, once the debt is under control and the emergency fund is growing, then you start investing. And if you want the next step laid out cleanly, check out my video where it says, if I were starting to invest in 2026. That video explains how to grow money long-term without getting reckless. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Saving money isn't about being perfect. I still overspend on some or a lot of my categories. Saving money is about building a system that slowly makes progress. You plug the leaks, You create a food plan that fits real life, not some fantasy life that people would like to tell us about. Add friction to impulse spending so we can't spend easily. Pay yourself first, start saving. Build your emergency fund in levels as you can and turn debt payments into saving payments. That's how we actually win with money. And if you want to do this alongside me, subscribe to the channel because I'm going over my personal budget here. We have videos on your first $1,000, how to find the best high yield savings accounts, what we're investing in, and how we use apps like Fidelity that for stable short-term goals, all right here on the channel. So we can all do this together. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.